Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Wish you all very happy 75th Independence Day. आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव आप सबको तहे दिल से मुबारक हो. Jai Hind. So, keeping in mind this very auspicious occasion of Independence Day, if I may pick up a book which was referred by a person, for him I have a lot of respect, and for me he is an epitome of giving a lot of freedom at work. His name is Dr. Manjinder Dhaliwal, who happens to be the Vice President at Chitkara University. He leads the department outreach, and I think last year he had suggested me a book, this very wonderful book, The Law of the Garbage Truck by David Pollay. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, The Law of the Garbage Truck by David Pollay. I think most of us would have gone through this book, or maybe would have bumped on something or the other when it comes to the net or YouTube, isn't it? Yeah. So before I get into the contents of the books, if I may mention a little bit about Dr. Manjinder Dhaliwal. Dr. Manjinder Dhaliwal, as I mentioned, about his position at Chitkara University, Chandigarh, but as a person, as a professional with whom I am working very closely for last 3 years now, I find him a person who has great affinity towards people, especially the teamwork, the team players, and he is gifted with amazing empathizing power, empathizing ability, if I may call that. And he is not a kind of a person who will do a lot of micromanagement. He loves to give enough freedom, he loves to give enough space, breathing space for his colleagues, for his team, so that in that freedom, because it's Independence Day, actually we evolve and we develop as a person, as a team, right? The crux of the book is in a story. The story is that once upon a time a businessman who happens to get dozed off, and when he wakes up, he realizes that he's about to miss his flight. There is hardly any time to catch his flight. So in a very hurried manner, he looks for a taxi, and by God's grace, he is able to catch up one taxi, and he jumps into the taxi and he says to the driver that, please take me to the airport. I'm in a very hurry because I don't have much of time, and I think I'm about to miss my flight. And it's a very, very important business meet which I need to attend. The driver looks at him, and with very cool, calm, composed way, he drives. But after some time, their taxi is about to have head-on collision with a truck, with the garbage truck. He abruptly comes off the parking place, and it's about to collide with the car, with the cab in which the businessman was driving towards the airport. So it's a very narrow escape, and by inches they are able to avoid the collision. And the person naturally, he gets very furious. I mean, the businessman, and he starts screaming, yelling at the truck driver. But to his surprise, he sees the cab driver is not at all distracted, not agitated, not disturbed, but he's very focused, and he is able to drive very smoothly as if nothing has happened. So he gets very surprised, and he is puzzled also. And then he asks the cab driver, कि भाई ऐसे कैसा है? I mean, he asked, how come you are not distracted by that accident which was about to happen? And he says to the businessman, sir, the people out here, we are like garbage truck. We are full of anger, we are full of depression, we are full of fear, we are full of insecurity, and the rest of all negative things, you see. And whenever we pass through them, whenever they pass through us, these whatever they have in the garbage truck, it's going to throw that only. So, but it's all up to us how to remain detached and remain focused at our work. So after some time, they are able to reach the airport, but the cab driver is not very happy because he could not get the businessman on time, and he says, sir, I'm really sorry as I could not drive on time, and I think you missed the flight. So the businessman very smilingly, with peace of mind, he says, thank you very much. He says, the law of garbage truck, and then he very peacefully, very confidently climbs down the cab. And I think we all got the message. The message is even a single thought, and even a single great insight, deep insight, can change our process of thinking, our thoughts of change. And what are the contents of the book? The contents of the book, do let garbage truck pass you by. The chapter 1 in the law of the garbage truck, let it pass you by, letting go is not good enough. Defense you makes you vulnerable to garbage trucks. So these are the subtopics of the first topic, do let garbage trucks pass you by. And the next topic is, the next commitment is, do let your own garbage truck pass you by. and then do avoid becoming someone else's garbage truck. Do help the garbage trucks you can, and there are some good quick quizzes also in the book which you will definitely enjoy. Do live in the gratitude cycle and live free of the garbage cycle. Next is do declare your life a no garbage truck zone. Then the next is do declare your work a no garbage truck zone. Yeah, and there are certain appendices. So there are basically 8 commitments, and in 8 commitments you will see invariably 6 to 7 chapters, and this book is quite in depth, quite detailed, so that we can overcome all kinds of doubts and disharmony and dichotomies of life. When it comes to the story which I just narrated, it's not so easy when it comes to a be it our family or maybe at the workplace. The person who is a stranger, maybe the garbage truck in this story which I mentioned, it's easy to let him go or forgive him. Fine, no problem. Yes. So we need to closely observe, which actually with the help of certain chapters which I mentioned over here, what makes us to see that they are garbage trucks or they are wisdom trucks is basically our own understanding, our own perspective, our own upbringing, our own magnitude of knowledge and understanding. That's very important, because it's rightly said that life is 90% what you make and 10% what you take, how you perceive. And if you say that you like children, but in the neighborhood if any child is in some problem or pain, most of us may ignore that, but when it comes to our own children, when they are in pain, maybe slightest of pain, we will get concerned. So this attachment, the individual identity which is defined by our family and by our near and dear ones, they matter a lot to our own life. So how to work on this strong concrete identity? Practically it's very difficult to avoid all kinds of negative people. It's very impractical. But as much as possible we can avoid the negative people. There is there is no compulsion that we need to live our life with negative people, be it our personal life or maybe professional life. भाई सीधी बात है, अगर कोई कड़वा फल है, हम कड़वे फल को नहीं खाते हैं, जो मीठा है, अच्छा है, हम उसे ही खाते हैं. या if you come across any kind of discomfort to your body, our reflexes enable us to get away from all those danger zones, isn't it? I'm talking about the negative people, isn't it, or negative situations. We all have rights, we all have the right of life to spend our time with like-hearted, like-minded people, whatever you call, or maybe positive people, where we get a lot of positive energy, a lot of peace, bliss, and all those things. But again, to reiterate, when it comes to our own perspectives, you may come across a wisdom of truck, not garbage truck, maybe wisdom of truck, or maybe a person who is really awakened. For that matter, you take up any awakened person, any enlightened master, say Buddha. So not necessarily all the people will see the Buddhahood in Buddha. Okay, there were certain people who were filled with a lot of hatred, a lot of their own understanding, their own perspectives, their own conditionings, and in fact they dared to torture Buddha physically also. Because we are so occluded, we are so occupied with our own understanding, with our own conditioning. So if you ask me, my takeaway from this book, The Law of Garbage Truck, is to recognize the negativity, the garbage lurking within all of us, in our heads, in our hearts, to purify that, to constantly purify that. Gentlemen, boys and girls, I strongly recommend, suggest this book for the people, young professionals. It will help you to prioritize things. For example, in time management, we learn about the 3 P's, the procrastination, the planning, and the prioritizing. Please keep your guards on and never let go your guards. So despite of all the good messages and the chapters in this book, the only danger, the only flip side is that for the people who've been quite experienced, maybe in 40s or 50s, experience, and many times in the name of experience, their past success, or maybe the ongoing success, they can become over choosy, over selective, definitely based on their own biases and their own conditionings, their own their own so-called formula of success, isn't it? And now the things are changing with the advent of technology, with the rise of digital era. The preferences and the priorities of the people are changing across the generations, across the age groups, across the geographies, the industries, and the genders. They are changing, which you should be able to perceive and see things as they are, and then change your strategies, maybe your business strategies, your approaches, how to treat people, yes, your own behavior. So that's very, very imperative to highlight. So it's all up to you how to make the best of this book, isn't it? But definitely this will be a very good pearl of wisdom, and this will enable you to annihilate the garbage truck lurking within you and overcome that and become wisdom truck. Emerge like a phoenix, rising like a phoenix, isn't it? And also overcome your own habit of catastrophizing and getting into more light, the light which will make you more competent, more clear, more creative, more constructive, and more compassionate. Jai Hind.